So I've spent the past few weeks studying how LLMs rank certain websites, or how they include recommendations. And it's something that's kind of interested me a lot more recently, because I feel that AI tools like ChatGPT and Grok are getting used a lot more by the mass market. You know, I've seen family members, I've seen friends start using it that you wouldn't expect to use it. So I think in a commercial sense, people looking for recommendations will start using it more. It's not to say people will stop using Google. I think there's a place for search engines. There's a place for answer engines, as you'd call, you know, AI tools. And this video is going to go into how to approach getting included in recommendations for your brand or your clients. So let's get into it. Let's just get started. So what we know. So LLMs, that's just like a fancy word for ChatGPT or Grok. They have a base knowledge. They have like a base index. So you can think of it like a snapshot. So they took an index of the web, YouTube transcripts, you know, lots of data, whatever they could get their hands on. Mainly, I'll just say that, you know, anything on the web, and they use that as their base knowledge, and that has a cut-off point. So once they've got it all, they cut off. They don't continue building on that. That's like periodically updated. And this is why some of the older models of ChatGPT, when you ask it a question that involved recent events, it wouldn't be able to know. You know, it still thought, you know, previous presidents were the president, or, you know, it didn't know about current events. So we know that. But now, recently, we know that LLMs can actually search the live web when it needs to. So some models just do this anyway. Some models you actually click to say search web. Grok, I think, just searches the web. I can't remember, but I think at some point now with these new models, they're just going to search the web if they need to. And currently, ChatGPT and Grok use search engines to do this. They don't have their own index. They use a third-party search engine, which is convenient for them because they haven't got to index the whole web. They can just search it like a human would. So when you do a search in ChatGPT for like best running shoes, it will search Bing for best running shoes. Then it will look at the blog post. It will look at some brands that are ranking, and it will summarize those results. Now, this is interesting because it means influencing those web pages on those, you know, first few pages of those results can influence the answer, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So besides from accessing the live web and doing searches, they also have access to certain data, think like an API plugin. I don't know exactly what, and it's hard to find out the exact things they are plugging into, but they can pull live data of stocks, weather, sports, news. They can plug in some live data without doing a search to the web. And that means, you know, they've got direct access to some live data sources. They look at LLMs look at social media. They look at review sites. They look at the sentiment of how brands are mentioned, the context. They're also looking at YouTube transcripts. So if your brand's getting mentioned in YouTube a lot, and how it gets mentioned. So they're looking at all this stuff. So it's more of a holistic kind of view, a holistic kind of approach than search engines. You know, they're actually building an opinion based on the context in which the brands are mentioned. LLMs don't deliver results like search engines. So search engine will deliver results like a librarian. So you search for something and a librarian will give you a list of books. You can look up the answer. LLMs deliver the actual answer, like a journalist. So that they will go out and research and find and read the data themselves and deliver the result like a journalist. So there's a slight nuance there in how results are being given to the user. And we'll get into why that matters in a second as well. So in the future, LLMs, this was just leaked the other day. They're looking to hook up to like e-com Shopify. So, you can search for best running shoes and probably buy them within ChatGPT. That's probably going to be the case in the near future. This will change things a little bit. It will mean that AI SEO is going to become even more important because, the whole shopping experience can happen inside ChatGPT, and it won't just be Shopify, it'll be other things as well. So LLMs are looking to index more. So doing some research, I'm finding that they want to start building their own indexes, not using Bing or whatever. And there's no reason they can't build this, very quickly, with their new technology. Think a scale like Google. That will mean quicker results. It will mean more knowledge about every website or every recommendation, every citation. And obviously they ain't got to use the third parties, that they're using at the moment. So it'll be better for them. So what to do with all this information that we know? So LLMs, they give a result like a journalist, as we said. It's not like a librarian. They're not giving a list of sources for you to look at yourself. They're giving the answer. But they don't just give one answer. So it's very dangerous for a AI engine to give one answer. Because why? Because everyone's different. They know a little bit of context, but they don't know a lot of context. They want to give some choice. People like choice. So what they do is they give a result that looks something like this. So I'm going to try and zoom in on this a little bit. Okay. So you say best running shoes, and they'll say the best overall, best for speed work, best cushioning, best for high rocks, best for trail running. So what does this mean? It means that they like USPs. They like association context. So if your brand has a USP, best for whatever. So say you build a CRM for small businesses, you could get listed in there amongst the big boys because you've got a USP. HubSpot might be the best CRM overall, but the best CRM for small businesses might be yours. The same with, running shoes in this example. If your running shoes are marketed for high rocks, you've got a good chance of being included in a list. Because, you've got this USP, you've got this angle, which ChatGPT or the journalist, which is what we're calling ChatGPT now, likes to report on. So decide on a USP for your business. Now, this is like stuff you should be doing for your business anyway. But sometimes we wait for algorithms, to tell us what to do. We shouldn't, but it's going to be in your best interest to have some kind of angle USP and influence everyone to talk about you in this way. So when you build links, or maybe you've got an affiliate scheme or whatever, to get this association, even people mentioning you in videos, to get this association, you are the best running shoe for high rocks. Best running shoe for high rocks. Videos are saying it, reviews are saying it, blog posts are saying it. That's what you want to feed into the LLM, right? Now, what's going to happen is when the LLM does a new snapshot of the web to get its base knowledge, it will get all that information and it will start associating your brand with that USP. But also, look at the sources that the LLM is using to recommend brands. Now, you can do this with certain tools. You can do this with PromptWatch, Qno AI is another one. I also built a tool that does this. So I might give access to this tool at some point. But basically, I put in a brand and I put in the keyword and I check, and it'll tell me the visibility, but it'll also give me all the sources in which ChatGPT has used to get its answers. And then it'll tell me that per query as well. So if I put running shoes, it'll search for best running shoes, cheapest running shoes near me, running shoes reviews, affordable running shoes. It'll just search a lot of different iterations of that main keyword and give me all the sources. Now, these sources are then a bit of a hit list, especially like the review ones, like this one, which is not found. So I don't know why it's using that. But this one, let's say Runner's World, if I can get listed in this, then I'll stand a good chance, of being a better chance of being cited by the AI answer too. So yeah, it's important to use some of these tools, get a bit of understanding of what ChatGPT is using to get these answers. Affiliates are going to be great for this as well, because if you look at these, a lot of these are affiliate links. So if you've got a good affiliate program, that's going to give you a good chance of being included by a lot of these bloggers. So I just wanted to actually add that as well. Because I'll link to these notes. I'll link to these notes or these slides in the description. And then next up, obviously, looking at the sources and getting mention of those sources is going to give you these inclusions, because the LLM is looking at the live web and the first few pages. But building brand mentions with USP may be included in live web search, if those mentions get ranked, but it's feeding the next snapshot. So if you build brand mentions of your USP, say you build 50 to 100 brand mentions, and they're on blog posts that are not really ranking that well, but they're ranking somewhere, you might not see any difference in your visibility in AI. But the next snapshot, the next model that comes out, you might then, because it's built that understanding. Now, you need to look at the next models of ChatGPT, like they are searching the web live, and they're really deep searching the web. So I believe the next few models will have a bigger index or bigger searching capabilities. So getting your brand mentioned on blog posts as much as possible with your USP angle association is going to be key. So I would just start working on that. Obviously, it's like link building, but you've got to think about it in a different way now. You've got to think about influencing AI with a certain kind of angle or USP. The next thing I'd be looking at is working on your reputation. You should be doing this anyway. Like I said, this is stuff you should be doing anyway. Social media, be big on social media, get shares and mentions on there, make sure your page is active. They're looking at all this kind of stuff. Someone mentioned in one of the articles I was reading, like a reputation graph. They're looking at all this stuff, reviews. So if you're on Trustpilot, they're going to be looking at the reviews on Trustpilot, the sentiment of how your brand is mentioned on there. If you're in SaaS, they might be looking at G2. If you're a restaurant or, a hotel, they might be looking at Booking.com or TripAdvisor, that kind of thing. YouTube. So getting YouTubers to mention your brand, doing your own videos. This is all going to be feeding the LLM. They're going to be looking at all this stuff. They're going to have a really holistic knowledge around your brand. But I really think this USP thing is key here. So, don't try and be just the best in your category. Be the best in your category for a certain angle or association. Best budget, best for small businesses, best for lawyers, best for roofers, best for integrations, best for features, best for whatever. So you know what I mean. And again, just another note on this. This is stuff that we all should be doing anyway, like business over algorithms. Like, think about real marketing over trying to hack the LLMs. Like, think about what marketing is, what branding is, and that should really transcend any of this kind of like deep thinking about how the LLM is including brands. But it's just worth knowing that this is going to give you a leg up, having this like USP. Because back to this, ChatGPT, the answers are answers like a journalist, not a librarian. They are giving you a nice kind of like, it's a definitive answer. You want the best running shoes? This is the best overall. This is the best for this, best for this, best for this, best for this. It's like a roundup blog post, just within the answers. So yeah, I would be getting that USP nailed down. Something else I wanted to just go into as well. If you use the new models of ChatGPT, it tells you how it's thinking, and you should study those thoughts, because it's actually telling you how it gets the list, what web pages it's using, what context it's using, and it will give its thoughts and its reasoning. And it's just good to look at that, because these newer models are reserved for like premium members, because they take up so much data or whatever, or they cost more for OpenAI. But it won't be long before these just become the standard models. So this is an insight into what's going to happen in the future, and it's going to get faster and faster and faster. So, best running shoes, and it's done all that thinking there for 1 minute, 31 seconds. That will happen in 2 seconds soon, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. So think about that. Study how it's getting the answers. Study what search terms it uses to get the answers to, because it gives those. It's cut off the screen here, but you'll see here, search the web, best running shoes 2025, Runners World running shoes 2025. So it knows like the best websites to search and stuff like that. Just study that, because it's quite interesting. And then I already went over this. It is good to probably sign up to one of these specialist AI tools, visibility tools. As I said, I might release my own to the public. It's very primitive and basic, but it probably does the job. Prompt Watch, QNO AI are the big ones at the minute. I'm not signed up to either yet, so I can't give any solid recommendation. But knowing how your brand appears across many keywords is going to be interesting. And what's even more interesting is what AI is using to pull the results. Surprisingly, a lot of 404s, but yeah, it's interesting, and I think this is what we know so far, and this is what makes most sense to me. So I hope you got something out of this video, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe, like, and yeah, more on this soon.